Welcome back. I'm the Fisherman, and I'm here today to share with you, as an industry insider, what I think are the top 3 mistakes that a lot of crowdsource workers are making across all 3 platforms. And also, if you're interested, stay tuned. If you want some personal advice direct for you, there'll be a special offer at the end of this video for you to take a look at. So let's get right to it. The first mistake that I think a lot of workers make in this industry is working alone. When I first started out, I thought, why would I want to waste my time being on some forum talking with other workers when I could be spending my time actually working hits? But I was wrong, and very wrong. The truth is that you need a community to help to speed up your transition from a novice to an expert in this kind of work. There really is a learning curve to doing this, and if you try doing it on your own, it's going to take you about 6 months to get it all worked out and straight. If you get on a good forum and you're able to interact with other workers and ask questions, then that can be reduced down to about 1 month. Of course, I'd like to recommend our worker forum at theottoforum.com, because we're the friendliest crowdsource worker forum on the web. We'd love for you to join us, get in, ask questions, get some tools, tips and tricks. Just get to know everybody and use it as a continuing platform. We post hits on every day. You can get hits from that. You can share hits. You get an idea who the good requesters are, who the bad ones are, what to watch out for, and if any kind of problems arise, like if you have rejection problems or if you have problems with any of the platforms, who are you going to ask about that? Because you're not going to really get much of a response from the platforms themselves. So it's better to ask people who actually know. So I'd love for you to come over to our forum, which I'm showing you here at theottoforum.com, and join us and get on the inside of what's going on and make it your place, your home in crowdsource work. Now let's reel in mistake number 2 that most crowdsource workers are making these days, and that is in your workflow. To be successful in crowdsource working now, you have to be able to multitask on 5 different areas in crowdsourcing. The first thing that you need to prioritize is Mechanical Turk. This is OTTO. OTTO was developed to supercharge your workflow, save you time, and boost your earnings on Mechanical Turk. With OTTO, you categorize tasks, filter them based on your preferences, and access the best opportunities without the hassle. OTTO catches hits and places them into your work queue, all while you spend your time working instead of looking for work. It makes MTurk relatively hands-free, so you can multitask in the other 4 areas of importance. We have a full video on OTTO if you'd like to take a look at that. I'll reference that in the description. This application will allow you to not have to sit and stare at a scraper or at the MTurk hits page, so that you can multitask on the other platforms as well and keep your workflow going. The second area you need to be focusing on in your workflow is Prolific. Now, right at this moment, Prolific is seeing the lion's share of work for us, so you need to make sure that you have an account over there. Go on over there right now and set yourself up one. Even if you have to get on a waiting list, it's well worth your time to do that. So go on over to Prolific and set yourself up. And that'll lead us up to the third part of your multitasking, and that is Connect. Connect's relatively new to the game and is a little bit smaller than some of the others, but you need to set up an account with Connect as well. They're also known as Cloud Research. They're a good place for hits, and I'm consistently finding that I'm making money on them week after week, so you need to be focused on them as well. The fourth item you need to be multitasking on is that you need to be referred back to the first thing we talked about, and that is get yourself on a good crowdsourcing forum, like the OTTO Forum. You need to be paying attention daily to what's going on there to keep up with changes, because a good requester can turn into a bad one overnight. Some new quals may come up that you're not ready for. And that leads us to the fifth thing that you need to be multitasking on, and that is keeping your quals up to date. Whether that is just simply updating your quals over on Prolific and Connect as they come up, and a lot of us miss doing that sometimes. But with MTurk, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Quals that you have today may become useless as time goes on, and you won't really know that. So if you don't spend a significant amount of your time looking for, finding, and getting new quals, then you are going to be subject to what is known as qual degradation. And you don't want your quals to go stale on you. Now, the best way to keep up with your quals for MTurk is through Qualify. As a crowdsource expert, the tides of change can sweep away opportunities if you're not attentive. I can tell you that. Qualifications are your tickets to higher earnings, and they evolve with the times. Your quals can grow stale over time, like I said. Sometimes they just get dropped, but often they just lose their usefulness. You should be spending at least 10% of your working time searching for and gathering new quals on MTurk, as well as keeping your quals updated on Prolific and Connect. To keep this up on MTurk, I highly recommend Qualify. You can think of Qualify as if it were a scraper, but not for hits, but for quals. Work this angle just as hard as everything else, and over time you'll be open for a larger group of hits and larger pay. This is Qualify right here, and shows some quals that you can try for to take the test for here. This gets updated very often and is the go-to tool for keeping up with Mechanical Turk quals. If you're not using this tool, then you almost certainly are not keeping up well enough with your quals. This tool is so good that I am recommending it, in spite of the fact that it is produced by one of my main competitors. So you can take my word for it, this thing works and you should be using it. So we've covered three main areas that you need to be looking at, three mistakes that a lot of MTurk workers, Prolific and Connect workers have been making. But it's not only my job to point out these areas to you, but to try to help you come up with solutions. I also offer a personalized one-on-one tutoring sessions for crowdsource workers with me directly. You can contact me by email that's in the description of this video if you're interested in that, and I'll be glad to go over all of that with you. Thanks for being here with me today. If this video has been helpful to you, I'd appreciate it if you'd like, share, and subscribe to this video channel. We'll have more coming up, so stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.